Hey folks, this is Ben Gessel. How's it going? Part 2 of this video. I have to go to bed after this. There are women I want to talk to on my Asian dating that I've gotten negative feedback from my parents, and nobody's supporting me that I know of in terms of being on Asian dating. But these women are some of the most for real women I've talked to. And there was a blonde woman. I think she's been married and divorced. I don't know. In my ward that asked how I was doing, or it was interesting. I was like, she's not an ugly woman. She's okay. She's not bad looking, but I kind of already had a little bit of an aversion to her, but not much. I mean, like, was a little bit nonplussed about some of the things that another woman I know had told me about her. But I'm not opposed to getting to know her better. But I just have no, as far as LDS women right now, it's just very, very nonplussed, very not in a good place in terms of really, there's nobody that I really want to talk to that's LDS. I'm sick and tired of all the nonsense that I've gotten from women, or I'm sure there's exceptions here and there, but there's some women that, there's a better feeling toward, but anyway, it's hard to talk about this stuff because I thought, when I was younger, that I kept trusting that things would work out, and I still feel like things will work out, but I'm trying to tell my parents that I cannot look at members of the church as they are. I can't, so many attitudes, so many ways of behaving, I don't find either ladylike, or I don't find attractive, or I don't find in the least bit, just nothing that I intrinsically like in women. I'm not seeing too much of that. They might be very righteous women, but there's a lot of other things going on that I'm not as interested in with the people I know, and there's a woman who is pretty overweight, for instance, and I mean, pretty obviously so, and when people get older, they get older. Her hair's thinning, and she is a very good musician, as I've heard, and we're gonna talk. We'll chat a lot, I'm sure, and I've heard about from other people I've known about this woman, and I'm already coming into this not really expecting anything to happen. It probably won't. I'm trying to tell my parents that there's things I'm attracted to in women and things I'm not, and I've gone through enough crap as it is. Why can't I just get rid of the crap? Don't spend any time with anybody I'm not interested in. Why can't my parents understand? They always seem to have these thoughts that were just never the case. It was never the case. It was never the case when I went to school that most of the kids were nice to me. No, they weren't. Most of the kids my age ignored me, or they didn't pay me much attention, or whatever, something along those lines. They thought something kind of vaguely nice, but it was rarely all that meaningful. Not very meaningful relationships. The few relationships that someone has in their life, by the way, someone can't come along, and none of us can come along and judge somebody about their level of of knowledge of relationships and things based on, you know, there's a lot of judging going on. I mean, I had somebody, you don't want to, it's very unrighteous, it's very wrong for someone to come along who's had more relationship experience, supposedly, and then critique somebody for having less. But it's not that person's fault, because the way people have been, that's stupid, that's wrong. There's, again, I mentioned in an earlier video, there's so many messed up things about ways that members of the church have been. There are good members of the church, I'm not saying there aren't, but I'm talking about something as simple as humility. It takes a heck of a lot of humility to be being a good person and being humble are they tend to go hand in hand. An arrogant person tends to not be super righteous. It doesn't lend itself to the other virtues very well. Once someone starts thinking pretty highly of themselves, they can make rationalizations for themselves about all kinds of behaviors. Yeah, you heard me say it. I've said it. If you think that, if somebody believes that they are the best specimen of a human being to ever live, then it's okay if they do this or that or this or that, right? Because they are the best. They have lots and lots of confidence, oodles of it, right? But are they humble? No. Are they godly? Probably no. God is not arrogant. But we're not talking, I don't want to talk so much about morality here. I'm just talking about attitudes. I've ways that people have been in my life. The way that I see people and why. And parents, I guess they mean well. I would think that I'd be amazed to think that they didn't. My own parents have been great, but all parents, they're so sheltering of their kids, and rightly so. But what do parents drive away from their kids that they shouldn't drive away? Well, parents are not perfect, so they make mistakes. But unfortunately, in this case, when kids aren't even aware of what they're being driven away from, they're being some kids, teens, young adults, anybody who has any relationship with their parents whatsoever. I could completely divorce myself from whatever my parents want for me. But do I want that? No. But some people have suggested that. I just, nope. You live your life, I live my life. Can't be that way. It's against my nature. But if someone mentions that my parents are super conservative, I'd say yes, in regards to something more cultural, I suppose you could say. My parents are old school. The way that people acted in the 1800s, that's the way my parents are. That's the kind of culture that they would like. My mom watches turn of the century or early 1900s British shows like Downton Abbey. That's what my mom likes. She likes Victorian era England. Same thing with my sister Sarah. This is the kind of culture that so many members of the church are part of. We're part of that older conservative culture. We're not talking about Trump always. We're not talking about this new political whatever. We're just talking about we like traditional values. And a lot of other Protestants and Catholics are like this, but yet so many people still think that there's these huge differences between Mormons, and Protestants, and Christians, and others as well. It's stupid, and I hate it. I've said this before in the last video. I hate it. I'm going to say it again. I hate it. I hate these divisions. I hate this judgmental stuff. I hate people not listening to other people. I hate people ignoring other people. I've never liked it and never will. It takes a very evil person, in my opinion, a very evil person indeed, that merits the kind of person that should be shunned by the people for moral reasons. A very evil person. There's all kinds of weird people that are shunned that are very good people. When I say weird, I mean eccentric. I mean every variety of personality known to man. And it's that cliquey, it's that judgmental thing I hate. I've always hated it. I hated it in high school. I hated it to whatever extent I felt it in college. And I hated it in the adult world. I'll continue to hate it the rest of my life. I want to just say the hell with all of them. And sometimes some of the attitudes my parents seem to have, well, they want me to marry someone who's LDS. That's fine. But I'm attracted to certain kinds of things. And if there's women that aren't that way, I'm not going to be attracted to them just because they're LDS. They have to understand that. In my opinion, okay, I've mentioned this probably before. I know I've mentioned this many other videos. What makes a woman attractive to me? Well, I'm attracted to women of many different races. It's not about race. If a woman is black, there's still a chance that I might marry them or date them. I'm not saying there's no chance. I'm just saying it's kind of a slim chance. Am I being racist? Well, that's it. It's probably, I'll put it this way. It's the other person who's hearing this is judgment call whether or not that's racist or not. All I'm saying is that's not something I'm not naturally attracted to dark skin. But I could be. It's not an impossibility. It's not impossible. It's just that there's other qualities that woman would need to have, I think. It's not something that comes naturally to me. I'm not naturally attracted to very dark skin, but it's, I don't know. There's aliens on other planets that have 5 eyes, and so yeah, I am, along with white women. It's Asians, it's Hispanics, it's American Indians, and East Indians. Many races, and some black, maybe, sure. I'm not opposed to it. Just probably unlikely, right? So that's just me. That's just race. That's whatever. So someone can call me racist if they want to. That's fine. But most people are that way. So most people are racist, I guess. So it kind of loses its meaning when most people are like that anyway. So it's like, no, I can still be attracted to a black girl. That can still happen. It's not because of breast size. That's stupid. But okay, anyway, I won't go there. So the thing is that, women are more attractive when they are very good people. Yes, that is true. They are more attractive. They're more attracted when they've never been married. They're more attractive when they've never had relations with guys. They are more attractive when, women are more attractive when they're kind, and when they are humble people, and when they truly listen to me. And of course I'll listen to them, but truly, deeply, they're more attractive when they're imaginative, and they're intelligent and creative, and they have a zest for life, and they want things, and they're emotional, and they're sensitive. These are all attractive, highly attractive, and when they're drawn to things that are more refined, things that are beautiful, lovely, good report, and praiseworthy. 13th article of faith in our church. These are very attractive qualities to me. I am attracted to modesty, but I'm not really attracted to a woman who views sex as being evil. And I have to say it that way because, well, as much as I admire England and British society, that sort of thing, in British society you see some level of viewing of that area of life that way, and the whole reasoning behind it was so that you wouldn't have premarital relations. You wouldn't experiment with sex. That you would save it for marriage and things, and that's the whole reasoning behind it. But sex itself is not evil, and we've had people, all kinds of people that have tried in Britain, specifically Britain, that's been such a chaste country comparatively, or at least historically. But you've had, what's his name? I don't know. Kinsey. Oh, he was a researcher regarding sexual behaviors and stuff. Anyway, it's kind of a not a very tasteful subject. So, but you guys can look into that. Um, but I mean, yeah, being chaste, yes, that's an attractive thing. But if somebody views sex as being evil, like the act of sex, and they're uncomfortable with having sex, well, it's just, I don't know. I mean, like, well, they're not going to be, they've kind of just have this frozen heart. If someone just doesn't want to get involved with any guys because they are just nervous about those relationships, period. I mean, there's a difference between being scared of a relationship and fear of sex. But either way, it's like, that's not necessarily something that I'm interested in. It's something that I'm sure encountered on some level in my church, but it's, I don't know, I'm gonna just bypass that. I think I like women who have a sex drive. I'll put it that way. Yeah. Warm-blooded women. That's nice. That's kind of more what I'm looking for. Yeah, you would think that would be the case, right? Yeah. So, and women that just, I mean, I kind of like to take it easy sometimes. I cannot marry somebody who's always just, they've always got to be getting, some women can be exhausting to be around. And it's not that they're bad people, but no, I could never marry somebody who's exhausting to be around. I mean, no, I mean, when I was younger, I was so there's certain music composers that I wanted women to be interested in, and if they were interested in them, I would just be like, yeah, it'd be amazing, awesome. We should date. You're so beautiful and all. I still, in some part of my heart, have some hope for that, but I don't know. It's like, I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know, a third of members of a church, a lot of people are single. A heck of a lot of people are single. Why is that? Well, it's because of the way that our church is structured socially. It's stupid. If there's anything I hate, it's that. It's that we can't get to know most people. We don't have dating apps for our church where we don't feel comfortable. Many people don't feel comfortable meeting people ways away, or that we're not all on the same app. We're not using those apps. We're trying to meet people in other ways, or it's always the more outgoing women or men that are. It's never the more shy or introverted folks, which is who I'm more interested in anyway. There's all kinds of things that make it very hard, very, very, very extremely hard, almost impossible for me to feel like I'm happy socially, unless I'm right in the middle of Utah. And if I'm right in the middle of Utah, I've heard it's that much more competitive. It's stupid. This whole thing is stupid. It's ridiculous. Why does humanity? Why do people act this way? Why is it that in my church, where we try to be exactly spot on with regard to all the things that Jesus ever said, and we need to be real Christians. So why is it that we still have all these weird prejudices about people and these weird ideas about people, these things that should not be the case? Nobody can claim to be godly or going the right direction in life if they have these intolerant attitudes of other people. They won't listen to other people. They won't take the time to let. We at our church, we're taught, right, to be home ministers, or for guys, or whatever else for women. Most people in my church have to be commanded to go talk to people, meet with people, and just talk about their lives. Most people have to be commanded to do that. Really, if you guys know of a church or a group of people that doesn't have to be commanded to just see to the welfare of each other and just be friends. Wow, I would like to meet those people. They would seem like pretty Christ-like to me. Like, and then my dad still believes that members of the church are the best people in the world overall. Like, who might, I mean, like, yeah, but it kind of depends on who you're talking about. I mean, my dad just has these ideas. I mean, I'm not saying I'm all that different from him. I'm just saying in my experience, there's a lot of judgy stuff. There's a lot of judgy stuff going on. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of anxiety. And I'm going to keep saying that for a long, long time until it's not the case anymore. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of misunderstanding. There's a lot of lonely souls that are Mormon, and others as well. There's a lot of misunderstanding. There's a lot of judgmentalness. There's a lot of this insistence in the correctness of someone's first impressions of somebody. And when someone's angry, or when someone's talking about stuff, and they don't feel comfortable, they just don't feel comfortable. That somehow that discomfort it has some relation with that other person's bad part of their soul. I don't believe that at all. Only in certain cases. Many people are very troubled. Many people are very sad. Many people are very angry. There's nothing about all those things that's evil. It's not how things ought to be. But doesn't make that person a person that you should shun their company. And many members of the church, they don't get it. Many people just in general don't get it. They don't understand these basics about how we should treat each other. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. On top of all this, I have a whole bunch of stuff. I have literally, just in the last few days, added 3 new students that are Indian, amongst, I don't know, others. Like, trying to squeeze them into my schedule as I'm driving. I don't know how few teachers drive to students' homes, but this is what happens. This is what, if I come to some music convention, if I go to some piano or horn or whatever instrument convention that I'm involved with, or whatever, and I hear about driving to students' homes versus them coming to a central location, that topic comes up. And someone says that the people who are driving to the homes are taking away business from people that are staying in one location because everybody wants some people to come to their homes. I'm saying, you know what? When people, teachers like me, when we drive to students' homes, it's taking time out of our day. It's taking money out of our wallet. It's a sacrifice that we're making. It's a sacrifice that we are making. It's not. It's like you people that are staying in one spot, you're not making that sacrifice at all. So you have no right. Those people have no right to call us out. So yes, parents would like that if that's an option. What I'm getting at here is I'm boggled by the level of selfishness in the world, the level of self-centeredness, and it's often placed on people with mild Asperger's syndrome like myself, simply because of our very nature. We're kind of almost compelled to be more aware of our own selves, or the thoughts we have in some respects. It's tough to go beyond our own minds, our own lives, psychologically. But it's not like we're selfish. It's quite the opposite. We're generous. One of the hallmark attributes of anyone who has Asperger's syndrome, mildly or whatever, is that we're generous to a fault. Yeah. Generous to a fault. I don't agree with the attitudes in my church. Oh, that's the first statement I want to make. Second one is, most of my life I've been lonely, been misunderstood. And the third thing is, I will treat people accordingly based on the experiences of my life and how people have acted based on how I've treated them. I'll expect certain things. I'll expect certain behaviors in return. Most people don't get it. They don't understand at all. A lot of people that go to a church, they treat it like a social club that are Christian. And they'll kind of tend to go to a church that fits their personality. It'd be a completely different deal than what they're searching for in terms of eternal truths and going to live with God again, for sure. It's not quite the same thing as my church. You find a good Bible church. I know it sounds like I'm mocking other Christians. What I'm trying to say is that some part of that way of being actually is the way that we should be. Why we are compelled to go to the ward that we are geographically a part of. It's never been something that members of my church, we've had so many things socially working against us. So many things. An infinite number of things. So many things. More than I can count. We don't talk about this in general conferences. Or we talk about how many singles people there are, but we don't talk about the nitty-gritty details of why they're single. We don't talk about the solutions. I mean, it's like, what the devil would like is he'd like for things to keep going as they're going. So whether it's the programs or whether it's judgmental way that so many members of my church are, or I don't know what is going on, but it's like, no, there's a lot of things that need to change right now. And for the life of me, I don't know why so many people in my church are this way. I'm going to keep you engaged today. I'm going to try to keep talking. I don't know how hard it's going to be, but so it's low energy sometimes. To try to do more every day. If I get rebuffed socially, I might have half a mind to chew that person out, but I don't know. I have had certain experiences. This is what I want to close by saying. I have had certain experiences in my life with people. I've lived life long enough to be able to say certain things with a lot of clarity and a lot of understanding and a lot of just firsthand knowledge and intuition. If I have not talked to women that I should have talked to, that's my fault. I maybe didn't know them, or maybe, I don't know. But I have no issues with calling out certain attitudes being what they are. When I experience certain attitudes, I have no issues calling those attitudes out when I see them. And one of the attitudes I cannot stand, it's one thing to not be attracted to someone who has Asperger's syndrome. That's fine. To not be attracted to them. Even if it's only mildly or whatever, that's fine. I would want to be married to someone who finds it attractive. All the intelligence, all the intellectual stuff, all the creative stuff, whatever else. What's my train of thought? I cannot stand this judgmental stuff toward people with Asperger's syndrome. I can't stand it professionally. I can't stand it personally. I hate it. If someone thinks that they're going to heaven, they've acted that way toward people, and they think that they're being righteous when they're judging that way, they got another thing coming. There's nothing righteous about being judgmental that way toward people. It's not how the Savior would be. And, if you want to actually be a good friend, you need to learn about what that actually means for some people. I mean, it's easy to be a friend to let me back up. I think I'm just going to say it this way. There's some people I actually don't want to be friends with based on just how they are. They could be very righteous people, very, very righteous people indeed, at least in their own eyes. But no, I don't want to be around somebody that has always seen me a certain way, that was never that way, and they never bother to see beyond that way. Why would I want to spend the rest of eternity around those judgmental, snooty people? And in case you're wondering, yeah, I'm actually singling out white people in this case. White people. The most judgmental race on the face of the earth. More so than Asians. The next most, man, I can't even talk right now. The two most judgmental races on the face of the earth are whites and Asians. Everyone else is nicer. Everyone else, I don't care. Polynesians, Africans are great. Hispanics, American Indians, great. If someone wants to call me white supremacist, all I need to do is listen to these last things I just said. It drives me nuts. I have not met hardly anybody who has darker skin, by the way, who is judgmental like white people and Asian people have been. As much as I say nice things and great things about white and Asian people, I just cannot stand that judgmental attitude. All the rules, all the etiquette things drives me absolutely nuts. Drives me crazy. I finally said it. So, maybe I don't have the greatest love toward Africa as a whole, but at least Africans aren't judgmental that way. Anyway, leave me thoughts, comments below. Catch us later. Take care. Bye.